What's going on, guys? Welcome to Full Court Talk podcast. And today we got a new special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you guys doing today? My name is Benji. Coming out of Vallejo, California. Nice to meet y'all.
Nice to meet you, man. So today we got a really interesting, we got some good topics. So the first topic we're going to talk about is there another rookie playing better than LaMelo? I don't know now that he's gone on kind of a little run by himself with being a starter now. Second topic is Trae Young becoming overrated. Third topic is Stephen Curry a legitimate MVP candidate? Fourth topic, are the Jazz officially contenders? And the last one, added this for CJ, is Jalen Johnson, the Duke forward, right for opting out of the season? So, in the first topic,
Mm-hmm.
does anyone think that anyone's playing better than LaMelo right now?
Go ahead, Bench.
Man, like you said, he's been on a run. I can't doubt that. He's definitely a staple right now. I will say that. Like, the only people I could think of that's right behind him would probably be Haliburton and even Edwards. I had to mention Edwards. He's been playing pretty well too. Wiseman would be up there too if he wasn't hurt, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, you know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
LaMelo's been averaging like 20 something points in his like little starting run. So he looks
yeah,
really good. He's getting more confident by like every week. And I made this topic originally for Tyrese Haliburton, and obviously he's been really good, but LaMelo's just kind of running away with it at this point. Like he's cut down his turnovers a lot. He's playing good defense, shooting the ball well. Um, and like you said, Anthony Edwards is finally putting it together after kind of going through some tough stretches. Uh,
yeah,
and especially with D'Angelo out now, he's kind of taken on a bigger role. So it's good for him.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. First of all, like I want to say sorry. We started the podcast a little later than usual. It's my fault. I've been busy, but thanks Spence for being able to be cool with it. But
Yeah, of course.
for me personally, like Lamelo, like before, like it was a joke, right? You would think that he wasn't capable of winning Rookie of the Year. Like we saw the talent, but just because of what LeVar and Lonzo, like their track record from before, like you wouldn't think that it's actually in consideration. But he's proving everybody wrong, especially like you said, Spence, being a starter. And like like Benji said, like I think we can all agree that Tyrese Haliburton, like he's a real deal as well. He's putting up numbers, and he's doing it while De'Aaron Fox is putting up all-star numbers.
Yeah.
So I think that's impressive in its own right, considering the fact that the Kings have Buddy Hield as well. And so I think it's only a matter of time, if not already, he's going to take over Buddy Hield's role, and they're going to find a way to get rid of him. But in terms of that, like I know you guys are Warrior fans, and Wiseman, he was putting up numbers too right before he went down. Like you could see like the impact that is lacking when he's not playing, you know. And so like with Looney out, and like let's say if he was healthy today, I feel like he would be the closest thing to Melo right now. But I mean, like you said, Spence, like Anthony Edwards, he's putting it together, bro. Like the game against the Lakers yesterday, I thought the Lakers were gonna lose, bro. He could have missed from three. My God,
Man,
yeah. So
He's proving everyone wrong at this point,
mhm.
which I
Yeah,
like.
including you.
Yeah, he's proving me wrong because I said he wasn't that good.
Yeah, no, in the earlier podcast, like we didn't pick him, you know what I mean, to be Rookie of the Year. Like I think I had him in my top three, but I definitely, I had Tyrese Haliburton. Like he was my dark horse. But as of right now, like LaMelo, he looks comfortable out there. I was talking to Benji about this the other day. He looks comfortable. He looks like he's playing at Chino Hills.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he got the advantage, And like I said, the numbers show. And the Hornets are winning. That's an important part too. So, kudos to them.
And I think if you look
Yeah.
at it, both of them, like Tyrese's team, the Kings, they're actually winning games for once. And it's probably
Yeah.
more so with De'Aaron Fox actually
Yeah.
putting it together too. But
hmm
both of them look really good. And I think they're going to be, I think more so LaMelo, but they could be stars in this league.
Yeah.
do the Hornets still have an injured backcourt?
I think Devontae Graham's back, but he's been really bad this year.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been struggling. Yeah.
I think at one point he was shooting like 25% from three.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
struggling.
Yeah. And let's see. Also, like what Terry Rozier and Malik Monk, they've been playing well too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's even more impressive to see what LaMelo is doing. Because of other players that are playing well.
Even Gordon
But
Hayward putting up career numbers too, 22 a game. He looked
Man,
good.
yeah,
I don't get it.
you know what? Let me tell you right now, Benj. Like in the earlier podcast, like I don't know if you've seen, but me and Spencer, we predicted that he wasn't going to do so well
yeah.
with the Hornets, but we ended up eating our words.
Man, I don't blame y'all. Like I think the same thing. But man, he's been balling out for sure.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
right now
having
he's
the
injured.
passing guard. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Having that
Yeah,
passing guard helps him a lot, though. Just
yeah,
kind of makes the ball just a little more fluid, especially Terry Rozier playing out of his mind lately. He's been
Mhm.
looking good. That
Yeah.
nasty crossover the other night.
Yep,
That was cold.
yeah,
He's always had that. He just never could put it together last season. This season, it
Yeah.
looks like he's just more comfortable.
yeah. And like personally, like what I want to say, like the last thing about the topic is that Lonzo has Zion, and then LaMelo has Bridges. So Airbnb, that's a sick nickname.
That's
You know what I
cold.
mean?
I like
That's a
that
cool
one.
nickname. You know what I mean? But I think that's another reason why like Melo is finding success, because he has a running mate. You know what I mean? It makes it so much easier. But yeah, it's just his comfortability out there. It's second to none. Like I said, he looks like he's back in high school with the way that he's playing. So
Yeah,
more power to
I
him.
really like LaMelo, and part of me wishes the Warriors got him. But I mean, Wiseman is really good, and I
Yeah,
think he's going to be really good eventually. I think next season he's going to kill it, but he's
yeah.
still learning. He's still struggling. This is his first like full season in like 2 years.
In
So
anything,
yeah,
collegiate and
yeah.
professional.
So
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with the struggles. I understand it.
hmm
But going on to the next topic, this is kind of sparked by Trae Young's little outburst on the court after he it looked like he flopped on that last play of the game. And then he's pissed that he didn't get the call. But do you guys think Trae Young is overrated at this point?
Man, from what it looks like on how his play on the court, he's approaching CP3 levels of annoying. Um, with all the crying, I mean, CJ said earlier too when I was talking to him, Luka is kind of up there too, as far as the complaints. But man, I'm starting to not not tolerate it a little bit. Kind of gets annoying to watch for sure.
The way he draws fouls, where he just like kind of waits for the defense to come up, and then as soon as he feels that contact, he just flails. It's got to be infuriating to watch, and I'm not excited for the Warriors to play him because I know we have some stupid defenders. Kelly Oubre is going to get a lot of fouls like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, Trae Young's been good this season, still 26 a game, but I think this is his lowest field goal percentage, and it's by like 0.1% from his rookie year, but 41% is pretty tough. And I've heard a lot of weird things come out, like he's complaining a lot in the locker room, and he's not getting along with his teammates as much, John Collins namely. I think he's getting to that diva level at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's tough to watch because like I've watched him when he was in high school. It's crazy to see him like kind of dominating the NBA, but like he's still just a kid, and you can see that.
Yeah. I mean, like Benji mentioned, when we were talking about this, like Trae Young is starting to feel like he's entitled to something.
Yeah.
And he only has one All-Star nod under his belt, and like everybody knows he's a Steph disciple, right? And he's nowhere near what Steph has accomplished. So I would understand, like I was telling Benji, I would understand, like, if you want to behave like that, if you've accomplished as much as Steph has. But like you said, Spence, he's just a kid. It's only like his third, fourth season in the league, and he's already like thinking that he can get these superstar calls. You know what I mean? But like Benji said, he's getting up to CP3 annoyance because like he does those fouls where he baits you. You know what I mean? Like he already has you beat, but then he'll wait for you to come, and then he'll like draw the foul like that. And it ruins the momentum of the game both ways.
Yeah.
Because let's say you're the Hawks and you're going on a run and you want to keep pushing the ball, right? But then by him doing that, like it's just slowing the game down for them. And it honestly, you could say that it helps the other team as well. And like the John Collins thing, Spence, I didn't even know about that, but that makes more sense now because of the trade rumors, you know.
Yeah. I think like
But
there was a report on it like a couple weeks ago, and like John Collins wanted Trae Young to play less like Harden and not get as many fouls and like stop chucking up so many shots. And you can see that because Trae Young takes a lot of shots a game for a guard.
He does, and like honestly, he should just hoop. Like you know, he just stop with the antics. You know, like when me and Benji we were talking about this, and Spence, you've seen this when the Warriors play the Mavericks. Like Luka doesn't like flop and all that stuff as much as Trae does. But the only thing he does more than Trae is he complains more to the ref.
Yeah.
You see every play he's yelling at the ref, calling for a foul, right? It's just Trae tries to draw more fouls. Luka complains more, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you guys are like the face of the league. You can't be doing that this early, you know? So like, in terms of being overrated, like he's starting to be up there for me. And like, I think it's sad because, you know, as like guards, I know we all play guard, like, we want to see them like strive and be better, but like, you don't want to see people trying to draw fouls. You want to see them play ball, but they can't do that while doing the way that he does. So it's disappointing on Trae Young's part. He should just stop it.
Yeah, and he's not even that established yet. Like like you said, he's still pretty young. You're a kid. Like you can't just be playing so privileged. I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been kind of like that. I mean, he pulled up always in the nice cars, even at the NBA draft. He had a beautiful car. I think he's grown up kind of rich, you know, and plus being quote unquote famous at like 16, 17, it'll go to your head. He just needs to hoop, like you said. Like he just needs to go out there and just do his own thing. He can because he's a really good player, but just kind of seems like he wants to go that James Harden role. And even
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead. My bad.
I was just gonna say, like James Harden, at least he doesn't wait for people to back into him. He just drives for layups. You know, he goes and attacks the defense. Trae Young waits for the defense to come behind him and just falls on the floor.
Yeah, agreed. I'd actually like to see him more in like a Steve Nash type of player. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he'd fit that mold better.
Because he's a great passer.
Yeah.
And we already know he can score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So passing would definitely be the next thing to improve on his game. So, yeah.
And that Hawks team is nice. John Collins is good. Clint Capella's a good center for him. Cam Reddish off your bench. DeAndre Hunter. Like, they have a ton of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they should trade away John Collins, but, you know, you can't control the toxicity in the locker room, right? So if that's really the case, then, you know, they're going to get rid of him. Some team's going to be happy to get him for sure.
I also don't think they're going to get a high lottery pick for him, though.
Yeah.
He's not worth that to me because he's all offense, no defense.
Yeah, that's true.
But going on to what I think shouldn't even be a conversation, but is Steph a legitimate MVP candidate? And I only put this here just because there's a lot of people that for some reason don't have him on there. I think it wasn't until like this little 10-game run he wasn't even like top 10. But to put the stats aside, his unanimous MVP season, he's averaging the same amount of points, 30.1. In his MVP season back in 2016, he averaged 6.7 assists. This season, 5.9. Makes sense because less targets. 5.4 rebounds in the unanimous season, 5.3 this season. 45% from three in the unanimous, 43.6 this season. The field goal percentage is down by 0.5. He's almost identical. And arguably, he's more dominant this season, it seems like. He's going through these stretches where he's just going off. I haven't seen him have a bad game in a long time. But what do you guys think?
I think his back hurts from carrying. Doing a lot. Like you can see it though. Like he's definitely shouldering a lot with the load just because of talent kind of drops off after him. But I don't know, man. It shouldn't, like you said, it shouldn't be a question that he's actually a candidate. Like if he pushes up to that 6th spot maybe, then it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Spence. I'll answer last. Warriors right here.
I mean, like, because the main reason I've seen is that because the Warriors don't have a good enough record for him to be up in that top, contending list. But Jokic is up there, and I know he's been amazing, almost averaging a triple-double. But the Nuggets have, like, I think the same amount of wins as us now, just 2 less losses. So it's hard to make that, like, assumption that, record, that's why. I just feel like that's a lazy answer. I think a lot of people just aren't watching Steph. They're watching the highlights of Steph. But he's been much more than just a three-point shooter. He's been dominant in the paint this season. And over this last 10 games, he's been insane. I think he's shooting 60% inside the paint now, and that's his highest ever. I just think Steph should be considered MVP candidate at this point, not just top 10.
Yeah. What's your guys' record right now?
15-13.
So like 9th?
We're 8th.
8th? Okay,
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I mean, before the season started, who did I have, Spence? I had Wardell. I was telling Benji this, contrary to popular belief, I did have Wardell as my MVP. But, if he continues to play like he does, and a lot of people are arguing that, at least the smart ones are arguing that he's having a better season than that 2016 MVP season, then I think it's a no-brainer. He should be at least a top 3 candidate. You know what I mean? Because you look at the top 2 right now, it's Jokic and Embiid. We haven't seen big man up there for MVP in a while. But I just think that what he's doing for the team, considering the firepower that the Warriors lack, if Steph were to be, out, I'm not gonna say an injury because I don't want that to happen, but so say a COVID protocol or anything like that, hopefully it doesn't happen. The Warriors would plummet. You know what I mean? Who do they have an offense? Nobody. And it definitely helped getting Draymond back, but you just can't duplicate what Steph does for the team, obviously. I want to ask Benji how he feels about Damian Lee, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, don't ask. Don't ask.
Yeah, man. But aside from that, Steph doesn't have any reliable weapons. You guys already know, Oubre's up and down. Wiggins has been putting it together, but it's Steph. He's obviously the face of the franchise, and now that he's back and healthy, he's trying to reclaim the throne of MVP, and I think it's only right that he should be it's disrespectful if he doesn't get considered at all. So I definitely think regardless of position, as long as the Warriors are in the playoffs, I think it should be a lock for him. Yeah. And this is coming from somebody that is a Lakers fan. For those of watching that don't know, but yeah, as long as he gets them there, or even if he doesn't, regardless of just because of what he's done, the 60-point game, the 50-point game, come on, man, and I got to tip my hat off to him, man. So yeah, Wardell, man, MVP. Still advocating for my pick.
Well, and if the Warriors do stay in that 8, 7 spot, I wouldn't want to face them.
Yeah.
Steph in the playoffs is different. We've seen Draymond in the playoffs. He gets different. We've never seen Wiggins or Oubre, but I'm sure they'll step up to some level. Even Oubre's been putting it together the last week or so. He's been stringing together games at least.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm hoping that they finally beat a good team tonight against the Heat because they have yet to beat any good teams lately.
Wow, dude.
That's an understatement.
The Lakers.
That's an understatement.
We only beat the Lakers. And after that, we only we play a god tier team against anyone under 500. And then as soon as we play someone over 500, it's a blowout. Every time. Every time. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like the Kings. It's how the Kings used to play back in the day.
Yeah.
Exactly it. I don't get it. But that's I'm hoping fair. I mean, Steph's the only one that shows up every night. Well, Draymond and Wiggins too. But
yeah,
the bench is god awful this year.
Man.
Wanamaker.
God. Yeah, Brad Whataburger.
He's so bad.
Yeah, he's terrible. I mean, you guys both know. You guys both know how I feel about Kuzma. I'm pretty sure that's how you guys feel about Brad Wanamaker.
At least Kuzma hits shots,
Sometimes I want to sub in.
I could do what he's doing.
Man, cardio.
Exactly. Oh man.
I mean, like we had Jordan Poole. You send him down, he kills
Yeah.
it in the G League, and they still like. I know he can't come back up, but like it shows that we have something. But Steve Kerr just doesn't want to play him. He believes in Wanamaker for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Man, I unfortunately I'm gonna have to disagree with you on Poole.
I like Poole, man. I like him.
Not a fan.
Okay, what about Nico?
Oh, Nico for sure. I'll play
Yeah.
Nico. I'll give Nico all Brad's minutes. He could take
Yeah.
that for sure.
I like Nico. I think he's like even tonight he had like 20 and 10. He's averaging like 20 and 10 in the bubble. So whenever that bubble ends, bring him up.
Bro, he's
Yeah.
serving in the bubble. Like, we
He's
were just talking
good.
about this, Benji. Like this will like he's had 20 point plus games like in all the games, I think. Like he's averaged like over 20. Like it's crazy. And I understand it's G League competition, but keep in mind this guy's a freshman coming out of Arizona.
They're still pros. They're still
Yeah, they're
good
still
players.
pros, regardless. But I think nostalgia would want you guys to bring back Jalen.
Man.
It makes no sense why we signed Wanamaker, and we
Yeah.
saw what Jeremy Lin had done in like China and all that, and we were like, let's go
Yeah.
grab Wanamaker. No,
Yeah, there's better options. I don't know what Bob Myers was thinking, but hey.
the free throw percentage. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
only thing
Stats.
that Fitz talks about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shot 90%. It's like I don't care.
Yeah. Agreed.
But let's get into the other team who's been on an insane tear. I think they won 18 of their 19 last games, the Jazz. They've been blowing out teams left and right, it seems like. They make, against the Warriors at least, they hit every single three. They are 23-5, but are the Jazz officially contenders?
Ooh. I'm getting mad 2015 Hawks vibes.
Exactly.
That's what I think of the Jazz.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
they for surely have a presence right now. As far as you see them whooping teams one by one, but I gotta wait for the postseason. That's all I'm looking forward to.
Yep. I mean, I have to agree. Like that year, they had 4 All-Stars: Teague, Al Horford, Millsap, and Kyle Korver. That's what it's looking like this season, man. Like, I don't think they're contenders. I think they're pretenders. Like Ben says, like, once they get to the postseason, and they could possibly meet the Warriors. Maybe that's why the Lakers don't want to be number 1. but if they can put it together in the postseason, that's when I'll start calling them contenders. You know what I mean? But they could any team like the Bucks, for example. The Bucks did good last season, and then they got stopped by a Miami Heat team that had their number. So, I think it's not a fluke because they're whooping teams. It's not like they're close games; they're whooping teams. But like Benji said, like I'm just getting 2015 Hawk vibes because of how many games they won in the East, and I know they're doing it in the West, but I just can't see them like getting past like the solid playoff team, not even getting past Portland, in the postseason. So yeah, we'll see. But I got to shout out Jordan Clarkson because he's hooping.
His 40,
Man, yeah,
That was cold.
yeah, 6th man of the year. You know what I mean? Like
he's run away with it at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of players in the beginning, but they've slowed down, and Jordan Clarkson has consistently been putting up numbers. And I only know this because he's on my fantasy team. Like, thank God.
Same here.
Thank God he's saving me from these matchups, bro. But yeah, he's playing out of his mind, and he's one of the other Lakers that have constantly improved, aside from Randall, Russell, and that's another guy right there, Randall. But Jordan Clarkson, he's just been playing really good. So happy for him. You know what I mean? He finally found his fitting on a team.
Yeah. And I think as good as Donovan Mitchell has been, he's been pretty inconsistent. He's not shooting an efficient clip all the time. Like I have him on my fantasy team. He'll go like 9 to 25, like pretty frequently. He's a great player, and I think he's going to be really good for a long time. We saw him drop 50 bombs last in the playoffs, battling with Jamal Murray. But I think it comes down to like this team is good, but they're missing that last piece, I feel like. Joe Ingles
Yeah.
is really old. He's not going to be able to give you what he used to. He's not going to be able to, mix up PG anymore. Rudy Gobert is, I still don't believe in him at all.
Yeah.
I don't like Rudy
Mhm.
Gobert.
Shaq
Never.
was
Yeah.
right.
Shaq was right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't like this Jazz team is really good. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a really good team. They put together some really good pieces. Jordan Clarkson, like you said, he's been balling out of his mind. But you're right. They just don't have that it, man.
Yeah.
And like you look at the record and like it's really good. 23-5 is really good. The Lakers are right there at 27 or 22-7. So they're not playing as well as they should be, I feel. Oh, they're not dominating, let's say.
Bro, we don't want the Warriors. That's it. We'll give
I
it to
wouldn't
the
either.
Jazz.
We beat y'all, so
We'll give it to the Jazz, bro.
And like when you think of the Jazz, you think of like the Grizzlies or the Pacers. Like they're just teams that are always going to be around, but they don't
Yeah.
ever get over the hump.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. True.
At least
You
Mike
know,
Conley's finally like playing like Mike Conley because last year he was terrible.
Yeah.
I think he's averaging like 15-7. He's been solid this year. They finally have, I think it's Bojan Bogdanovic.
Mhm.
He's back and he's still really good.
Yeah.
They're a really good team, but I see that they're gonna be pretenders until they can show anything in the playoffs.
Yep.
exactly.
But the last topic, I'll let CJ go first because I think CJ has a lot to say about this. But Jalen Johnson opting out before the season ends. What do you think?
Man, you know what? I had a feeling something was up just because of the injury that they listed a couple games ago. There was no indication that he suffered it. You know, they said that it happened during practice, so I mean, maybe it did, but this just looks like a situation, a very rare situation with Duke and Coach K, where a team or the team and the player did not get along, and they didn't find that out till later in the season. And so with Jalen Johnson, like it's disappointing to me. Personally, he made the right decision. Not for me personally, like for him personally, like because he had to do what's best for him and his family. He's a lock to go to the draft, to make money and all that stuff. But I mean, I just want to refer back to what happened with Zion when he injured himself against North Carolina. He could have easily opted out. He's the clear-cut number one player, number one best player in the country, number one player in the draft. But no, he wanted to come back and compete with his brothers, and that's what Duke epitomizes, the brotherhood, right? But like Jalen Johnson, being the best player in the team and you just quit, like what does that tell you about him? And like, that's going to say a lot when it comes to interviewing in the NBA draft. That's going to come up a lot because you don't see any of these players like giving up on the team right away. You don't see like Brandon Boston in Kentucky. They're struggling. Like you don't see any of them just getting injured and resting for the draft. So it's really disappointing because, everybody knows that I'm a big Duke fan. But, they showed it today, 24-point win against Wake Forest. They didn't need Jalen Johnson. But, yeah, I think he has a big ego to me. He wasn't thinking, like, he didn't want to – he let his brothers down pretty much. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine if we're all in the league and we're doing hella bad. And then, like, I'm like, I don't want to play anymore. Like, what does that tell you? We're all friends. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I was telling Benji this the other day. There was a tweet that I saw about, Jalen Johnson, like, not doing his job, quitting, stuff like that, which is true. Somebody quoted it and was like, well, he wasn't getting paid in the first place, so it wasn't a job. But that's also true, right? But, at the end of the day, he thinks he's doing what's best for him. But to me, it's disappointing because the team really needs him. And, he gave up on them. So, yeah. Yeah.
Man, he was spot on. I actually had to refer to him because I'm not really too familiar with the college scene right now. But as far as trying to stick with your team, it's supposed to be your family, right?
Yeah.
You should want to be able to thug out the rest of the year with them, but like C said, it reveals a lot about your character if you don't want to stick around and try to work it out, even if injuries are a thing. Like if that's really your family, you got to roll with them through good and bad. But
Yep.
Whatever's best for him. Hopefully it works out, but that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of lucky. It's the COVID season,
Yep.
You could use that and be like, it was COVID. I don't want to deal with it. And I guess that's good for him. But like you said, like you don't quit on your team. Especially when you make it that high, you're a college player, you're trying to go to the NBA, you take whatever you can to build upon your draft stock. And maybe he did it because he's struggling right now. He's not putting together good games. I think he was averaging like 12 points a game. He wasn't playing very well. And I think before even the season started, or like when the first game, I told JJ, I was like, I hope the Warriors get him because of that mini pick. I don't want him anymore, bro. Like I don't want someone that's gonna quit on their team. If it's gonna be tough like that, and you're gonna be like, nah, I'm done. You're not gonna last in the NBA, especially as a top pick. You're not gonna last because you're gonna go through hard times.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
I think
tough, man.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's gonna haunt him for the rest of his career too. Because like going to prestigious school like a blue blood like Duke and wanting to give up on a team, but like you said, he can get away with the COVID season, right? But also like he didn't want to go through the adversity. So what if he goes to a losing team and they suck? Is he gonna request a trade at the end of the season?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And all of these like obviously are hypotheticals. We didn't know what goes behind closed doors, especially Coach K, you don't know how he is as a coach. We just admire him from a distance. Something could have happened, but at the end of the day, like Benji said, these are your brothers. You want to compete with them, good and bad. So, like, I want to say this: like, what if Duke ends up making it to the tournament? Is he going to suddenly come back and be like, "Hey, I'm healthy again. I want to help my guys." But yeah, it just looks bad because Duke is struggling up until like the past 2 games, and then it looked like he was like, "Oh, Duke's not making the tournament, so I don't want to have to show up for none of that. So I'm giving up."
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just looks bad. And if Zion, one of the biggest superstars to ever come out of Duke, can come back and like want to win, even though they didn't, like anybody should be able to come back, but he didn't want to. He thinks he's better than that. So, all power to him, I guess.
What was the injury they listed?
It was a foot injury. So he said that, or Duke medical staff said that he injured it during practice. Like he stepped on somebody's foot. It wasn't even a sprain or anything. But they listed him out. He came back. He didn't start, and then he had to get disciplined, and then he didn't start again, and then that's when they listed an injury again, and then that was it. So, yeah, disappointing.
Yeah.
Give me the Duke scholarship, dude.
Yeah, take his place.
Take straight up. But to each their own. So,
yeah, I mean, you don't see that often.
Like
especially like you said, like with Zion, you don't cut on your team, you get hurt. Especially like we would have understood if Zion opted out.
Yeah,
that's a big knee injury, but he came back and he fought. More power to him, and obviously it worked out. He's the number 1 pick. He's balling out this season. But that's gonna do it for our 30-second podcast. Thank you for Benji for coming on. This was cool, man. Nice to meet you.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all
man.
having me.
And then thank you to CJ for inviting Benji. That's cool.
Of course. Wait, you said 32?
32.
Damn. Marquise Chris podcast.
Magic.
Let's do it for him because he finally got his boot off. So
yeah.
But check our social medias and our everything else down below in the description. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my website, fullcourttalk.com. But catch you guys in the next one. Peace.